I looked through it, I didn't see anything controversial. And the fact that they're back, man, whatever happened with that, I didn't see anything there.
They went in 5 minutes after 5, and they were already out when I got back here. Hope that's an indication of the whole meeting. Well, it's so short. It goes to 6. Got a couple of 7s. Not that I know of. There wasn't many earlier. Resolution, presentation, and introductions by Bugay, Valley College, Lasersman, Ball resolution, there's state championship for Laser Women's Badminton state champions. Classified School Employees Week resolution.
2%. 2, yeah.
It really doesn't look like it's 2. Approval of curriculum changes.
Last year.
I would guess there probably won't be more than 1 or 2 that get pulled, and they'll just take and go through and say yes to the consent calendar.
I don't know. What the board's done.
Todd doesn't have Don or somebody sitting in for him?
Who?
Todd doesn't have Don or somebody sitting in for him?
Mostly don't do that.
Oh, you don't?
Not up here.
On paper, it's
Supposed to have 2 teams here.
we've got so much set aside that we're going to spend in the future. Like,
I thought they already did that. The authorized signature list for the Board of Trustees.
we're going to wait 5 years to close it.
You had a couple of,
20 minutes or an hour.
unless Fuentes has resigned.
Because I brought that up.
Something like that.
Part of it is that they have a chance to bond.
They're coming in right up off the top.
They don't have to spend all their money.
This is who I'm looking for, right?
So now's the time of year. If you want, we need bond money. There will be again, but not in the next. And people.
1, 9, and 12.
I was young.
All right, we will call our meeting to order at 6:01 according to that clock. Good evening, everyone. We will now have a report out from our clerk of actions taken in closed session. Trustee Milchecker.
There were no actions to report out in closed session.
Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Say again.
There were no actions to report out from closed session today.
All right, thank you very much. And if you'd all rise and while I lead you in the invocation. Our Heavenly Father, we ask for your blessings on these proceedings this evening. We ask that you guide this board in our decision making. Bless our students, our faculty, and our staff. We thank you for the wonderful blessing of all of our wonderful educational facilities. We ask for your protection of all of the men and women who are fighting for freedom in the world and for us. We ask that you bring them safely home. All this we ask and pray in your name. Amen. Trustee Milchecker will now lead us, Trustee Prendergast will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and We have a number of resolutions this evening we're very proud of and will be honoring. And the first resolution is for Vice Chancellor David Bugay. If you would come to the podium, and our Chancellor will read the resolution, after which we will vote. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to read it? Sorry, Trustee Melchiker will read it.
Thank you.
I thought I had it on. Let me click your name. There you go. All right, there you go.
Thank you. This is for David. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. This is for David Bugay, Acting Vice Chancellor of Business Services. Whereas Dr. David Bugay, Vice Chancellor of Human Resources, has served with distinction as Acting Chancellor of Business Services during the past year, assuming additional responsibilities for the district's fiscal, accounting, payroll, facilities, purchasing, risk management, employee benefits, and warehouse departments. And whereas during this time, David Bugay also played an integral role in negotiations with the City of Tustin and the County of Orange for improvements to site configuration of the Advanced Technology and Education Park, enhancing its value and suitability for future developments. And whereas part of his additional duties, Dr. Bugay chaired numerous high-profile committees, including board policy and administrative regulations, district resource allocation, and district-wide accreditation subcommittees, and whereas during his 1 year of service as Acting Vice Chancellor of Business Services, Dr. Bugay assumed these responsibilities without additional compensation, providing continuity and transition for the new Chancellor. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Dr. Bugay for his outstanding leadership and dedication to the district and colleges.
Okay, in
Please call
presenting
the
this
roll.
to David, I'd like to just make a comment about the big job that he undertook. Those are heavy responsibilities when put together. I have personal experience in it, and I want to tell David that I appreciate very much that he stepped forward and was willing to do that. It was very helpful for the district.
Okay.
And anyway,
And can we
David?
just make it official and call the roll? Call the
Who's
roll
going
for
to
the
do
vote.
that?
Yeah.
Trustee
Great.
Jay?
Aye.
Trustee Moldau?
Aye.
Trustee Melchiker?
Aye.
Trustee Padberg?
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast?
Aye.
Student Trustee Larson?
We're all on. You have it on discussion mode, so everyone's on, as long as their button is pushed.
Yeah. Do you want to put talk?
No,
Okay.
just keeping my mic on.
Would you like to say
For
something?
once, I'll be brief. Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, and our next resolution is for the Irvine Valley College Laser Men's Volleyball. They are the 2011 state champions. So we'll have our president of Irvine Valley come forward to make this presentation. Go forth, Ms.
I'll start reading the
All right.
resolution. Whereas the 2011 Irvine Valley College Laser men's volleyball team had a triumphant season, culminating in the volleyball program's 4th state championship by winning a dramatic 5-set championship match over Grossmont College. Whereas sophomore outside hitter Brandon Directo was named state tournament most valuable player. Freshman setter Kevin Fisk and freshman middle blocker Mark Matrakos earned all state tournament honors. Brandon Directo and sophomore libero Chris Reams were named first team All Pacific Coast Conference, and Kevin Fisk, sophomore opposite Caleb Brophy and Mark Matrakos, were named the second team All Conference. And whereas the team was coached by Ki Yi and Tom Pestroli to a 15-6 overall record, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby recommend and congratulate the 2011 Irvine Valley College men's volleyball team members and coaches for their outstanding athletic season and excellent representation of Irvine Valley Colleges. And Grace, can you please read out the resolution?
Or call the roll.
Roll.
Yeah.
Trustee Jay. Aye. Trustee Meldau. Aye. Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Student Trustee Larson.
Mr. Chancellor and the Board of Trustees, I'd like you to meet Brandon, who is the MVP in the state finals. He's representing the team tonight.
Are there other members of the team here that we could introduce? Just him. All right. Great.
It's summer.
Sorry. All right. Very good job. Thank you. And our next resolution is for the Irvine Valley College Laser Women's Badminton, and they are the 2011 state champions. So we have a representative from the team come forward.
The coach.
Coach, okay.
Whereas the 2011 Irvine Valley College Laser Women's Badminton team had a perfect season, ending in the 6th state championship, as well as the Orange Empire Conference and Southern California regional titles with an undefeated record of 10-0. And whereas sophomore Tui Wang won the state individual single title for the 2nd straight year, and Wang and sophomore Vimla Fongasavithas captured the state individual double titles, and whereas the team was coached by Mark McGrogan, who was named the Orange Empire Conference Coach of the Year, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby recommend and congratulate the 2011 Irvine Valley College Women's Badminton team and coaches for their outstanding athletic season and excellent representation of Irvine Valley College. And Grace, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Jay. Aye. Trustee Meldau.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Student Trustee Larson.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Just like to say thank you on behalf of the players. It is summer. We try to get some of them here. Some are working, but again, on behalf of the players, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right, and our last resolution this evening is recognizing Classified School Employee Week. And would you read the resolution, Trustee Milchiker?
Okay, today I'm reading the resolution for Classified School Employee Week, as President Padberg said. Whereas the classified school employees provide valuable skills, services, and support to students, faculty, administrators, and staff of the South Orange County Community College District. Whereas classified school employees play an important and vital role in providing for the health, welfare, and safety of the South Orange County Community College District students and staff, and whereas classified school employees strive for excellence in all areas relative to the educational community and serve as a valuable resource and guide for students of Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, and the Advanced Technology and Education Park. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby recognize, honor, and appreciate the many contributions of the classified employees to quality education in California and in our district, and declare the week of May 5th to May 21st, 2011 as Classified School Employee Week. Can you please read the roll, Grace?
Trustee
Roll
Jay.
call.
Aye.
Trustee Meldau.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Student Trustee Larson.
And who is receiving this award? Chancellor, I'm sorry, could you just have her introduced? I didn't hear her introduced.
Thank you. As CSEA President, I'm Dawn Main, and thank you, Chancellor Portner and Board of Trustees, on behalf of all of our classified employees.
Great, thank you. All right, We are now at public comments. Do we have anyone wishing to make comments?
We do not.
We do not. Okay, very good. We will then move to reports, and the first item is board reports. We'll start with Trustee Jay. Do you have a report?
There is no board report this evening.
All right. Trustee Meldau.
I also have no board report.
Trustee Milchecker.
No board report this evening.
Oh,
Thank you.
dear. Looks like a habit here.
Well, you
Trustee
guys haven't been
Prendergast.
very active at all. I just wanted to say how exciting it was to take part in my unique position as a high school teacher at Beckman High School, where the early college program is basically piloted and been very successful. We had the first round of graduates who participated in Irvine Valley College's graduation and got diplomas on May 20th, then went and got special recognition again at Beckman's graduation, and I was honored to be able to hand them their diplomas for high school, and they were recognized verbally as early college graduates and had a special white sash that they got to wear with their graduation gown, and it was very, 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 very nice to be able to take part of that because of my role in that regard. So I did want to bring light to that.
Very good. Excellent program. All right. And I, too, do not have a report. So we are missing, I didn't mention it, but we're missing Trustee Lang and Trustee Fuentes this evening. So we'll now go to our student trustee report. Go ahead. Your mic's on. Just bring it down towards your mouth.
Well, for all of you who don't know, the Student Trustee Convention up in San Francisco is coming closer and closer every day. Days are going by really fast this summer, but I'm really anxious to go up there and collaborate with other student trustees. I look forward to meeting with Joseph and the other IVC president for their student governments, but just again, it's been summer and there's not much activity, so that's my report.
All right. Thank you. We're now to our Chancellor's report. Chancellor Portner.
Yes, I'd like to formally introduce to the district and to all of our community our newest administrator in district services, Dr. Deborah Fitzsimmons, who is the new Vice Chancellor of Business Services. And we're very pleased to have you, and we're looking forward to many years of your services.
Yep. Welcome. Is that your report?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Now we are at board requests for reports. Do I have any trustees who would like to request a report? Seeing none, we will move to the consent calendar. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar. All right. Are there any items to be pulled off the consent calendar? Seeing none, we will move to a vote. Please vote. All right. The motion carries with 2 absent and 1 student advisory vote, and the rest yes. Thank you. We are now to the action items, general action items. 6.1, the fiscal year tentative budget, and our new Vice Chancellor of Business Services will present our budget, tentative budget.
David's trying to get our attention.
I'm sorry, David wanted our attention.
Would it be okay if we looked at items 519 and 520 to brag about them a little bit?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Arlene, would you mind going to the podium? Arlene, would you mind going up there to the podium?
It's okay. He won't bite.
This is one of those moments. I very
Could
seldom.
you put your mic a little closer to your mouth? Thank you.
This is one of those moments where very seldom do you brag about being on a committee. This committee actually was one of those things where 2 years ago we started on a project to find a way to develop a policy to dispose of records. The committee finished its project and then turned around and asked to proceed further because we did so well together. So the committee consisted of 18 people from both colleges, a few people from district, and by the time we were done, we brought items 519 and 520 together primarily as a collaboration to have electronic records so you can transmit them back and forth between the colleges. So by the time we're done with this project, once it's fully implemented, we'll be able to have a student walk into one college, fill out an application. If they want financial aid, they go to financial aid, they click a button, and all the information from the original application is transferred instantly through electronics. If they want to go to another college, a different college, and either Irvine or Saddleback, whichever they started out, and they want to switch back and forth, the records transmit. If they want to enroll in athletics, they can go to athletics, they can click on a button, and all of a sudden the records will show up, populate that database for the eligibility program. So this is actually electronic backbone structure to actually make all of our records electronic. Now, it won't end paper, but it'll dramatically reduce it. Now, Arlene was one of our founding members on the committee. I want to brag about her. Jane Rosencrantz also at Saddleback College. But Arlene, do you want to make a comment or two to the board about this project?
Well, yeah, we were excited about this project because it was something that both colleges worked with the district together in deciding a vendor and looking at all the possibilities. We're excited about some of the new things that we'll be able to get, like e-forms and workflow, which will be more efficient and better serve our students. So we're just excited that we felt like it was truly a collaborative effort.
All right, and obviously we are not on 6.1. I apologize. I didn't see that you wanted to speak before we voted, but this is back on this consent calendar, item 5.19 and 5.20.
And that, it really does belong in the consent calendar. I just want to point out the good work of this committee. And we had both colleges worked very well with the district, and this is actually a true student service program that we did. In the district office, we primarily coordinate activities for the colleges to the betterment of students.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. All right, now we'll move to 6.1 and the presentation of the tentative budget. And our new Vice Chancellor, Dr. Deborah Fitzsimmons, will present it.
Good evening. Let me see. Okay. Good evening, Board President Padberg, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Portner, and members of the audience. You have before you the district's tentative budget packet for your review and approval this evening. The budget has been thoroughly reviewed by both the Chancellor and myself, and it is conservatively based and a balanced budget, which is required by law. I wish to recognize our District Director of Fiscal Services, Beth Mueller, who was the lead on developing the tentative budget. She did an outstanding job. And I also want to recognize that a lot of important and hard work to develop the budget was done by David Bugay, the campus directors of Fiscal Services, and the college presidents, as well as their college budget committees. It was a collective effort to build this budget. I'll be doing a brief presentation will outline major points regarding the budget. The tentative budget for fiscal year 2011-12 is primarily based on the governor's May revise. The total budget, as you can see, is $528.7 million, and the majority, 93% of the general fund budget, is $200 million. That is comprised of the unrestricted general funds, while the remaining $14.7 million, 7% of the general fund budget, are the restricted funds. Other funds total $314 million. For your information, the SB 361 portion is calculated to be at about 64% of the unrestricted general fund budget, and that amount is approximately $500,000 increase over this year. However, as a reminder, the district does not receive state apportionment funding because local property taxes and student enrollment fees calculate to be higher than the calculation for the state entitlement. Remaining unrestricted income sources are made up of basic aid, 22%, non-resident tuition, which is 2%, lottery, 3%, and then the beginning balance, which is the carry forward of the prior year, which is 9% of available unrestricted funds, and that totals $18.7 million. The revenue assumptions are state COLA at 0%, growth at 0%, and there has been a lot of talk of workload reduction being applied to community colleges. It could reduce FTS by a certain percentage, but that normally does not apply to basic aid districts. So in the tentative budget, we didn't assume that in our assumptions. The assumptions regarding property tax income are a key component of our budget planning, and the income from property taxes are developed conservatively and in conjunction with the working with the Orange County Auditor Controller's Office. Those assumptions are projecting tax revenue to be flat as well as secure taxes to be flat at 0%. On a statewide basis, the enrollment fees, as you probably remember, have increased from $26 to $36 per unit, which is approximately a 38% increase. The contingency reserve is calculated at 7.5% in accordance with the budget development guidelines approved by the board. For the expenditures, the salary and benefits account for between 85 to 89% of the expenses at the colleges and 81% of the expenses at district services. This percentage is within an acceptable range budget-wise. Some of the details of the budget assumptions associated with the general fund, salaries, and expenses are 7% estimated increase in health and welfare benefits, PERS at 10.7%, and an increase in unemployment insurance to 1.61% from 0.72%. All of these benefit-related items will be updated for the final budget. And no salary increases were included in this tentative budget for any of the employee groups. This slide shows the history of receipts for basic aid. It's good to see the trends, and you can see that the trends have gone up and down over the years, which is why the philosophy of using these funds for one-time purposes has been extremely wise. The basic aid budget for the tentative budget is $43.2 million of one-time new revenues. Out of basic aid funds, $2.6 million will be transferred to cover the annual accrual for current employees' future retirement benefits. $75,000 is for basic aid advocacy, and the remaining dollars are for future projects. These are listed on pages 13 and 14 in your budget packet, and you can see the listing of the projects on those pages. The allocations and breakdown of the general fund between the unrestricted and restricted funds and the colleges and other major areas are listed out on page 15 in your packet, which is a good summary table that recaps this nicely. For state categorical funding, the tentative budget was budgeted at approximately 95% of this year's budgeted levels to be conservative until the final state budget is approved. At this point in the state budget, it does not look like as if categoricals will be decreased, but nothing is certain yet. You may have heard that the State Chancellor's Office did not allow any of the unused funds that were remaining from the majority of categorical programs to be rolled over this year. This is a change from the most recent practice of allowing these rollovers, so this was another negative impact to the colleges for these programs and services. I also wanted to point out that Fund 71 and 72 are budgeted for retiring benefits. Fund 71 for the premiums and Fund 72 for the benefit trust, which is an irrevocable trust. This is to ensure that we are fully funding our OPEB obligation in accordance to GASB 43 and 45. And you can see these amounts on the top table on page 18 in the columns on the farther right side, with the total funding equally $68.9 million. So that's on page 18, far right columns. Looking ahead to the final budget, you may be wondering both what are the next steps and what is the impact to the colleges and the district services. Currently at the state budget level, a state budget has not been approved that will be accepted by the governor, and you're aware that we're waiting for that to occur now. Recently, the California State Controller, John Chang, has ruled that legislators will not be paid until they produce a budget plan that is balanced. And over the past few days, it's been awfully quiet at the state capitol. However, but just before this board meeting, we had heard from Scott Lay from the Community College League. He said that the Democratic leaders and the governor will be announcing a plan to approve a majority vote budget, and it will include higher revenue assumptions for the state economy. If they don't materialize, additional cuts is likely for the CCs. We will know more details tonight or tomorrow, so we will continue to watch how this plays out. So therefore, this tentative budget that we're asking you to approve will be revised over the next month, and the final adopted budget will be presented to you for your approval at the August board meeting. As a reminder, as part of the budget development guidelines, opportunities for review and input by appropriate college participatory governance groups prior to adoption of the final budget will take place at the colleges. Needless to say, there have been great budget pressures on the district services and the colleges. We are now entering our fourth consecutive year of no COLA. but continuing cost increases, including salary and our benefit increases. This has been very challenging for all the sites. Having said that, I want to emphasize that we are continuing to make prudent budget decisions, and we are achieving greater operational efficiencies so that we can fulfill the goal of serving our students and providing them with excellent service and instruction.
Thank you.
That's the end of my overview of the tentative budget for fiscal year 2011-12, and I want to thank you for allowing me to present this budget to you this evening. If you have any questions or comments, both Beth Mueller and I are here to answer them.
Trustee Jay.
Yeah, I'd like to say, as usual, you guys have done a great job putting the budget together. It's very clear and very easy to read and highly understandable for the lay person, like myself, I might add. I taught math forever and ever, but that is not budgeting. And just one comment of note, I came into the district 37 years ago in 1974. The budget total in terms of all funds this year is $528 million. That year it was $10.5 million. We had something like 3,500 students, maybe 4,000 at the most. And now, what is the total head count this fall? Of course, I haven't got anything but summer figures so far. But last fall, I think it was around 43,000, wasn't it, Gary? So it's an incredible change from what has happened in the last 37 years.
Yeah, I believe it's larger, Trustee Jay, than any city in the whole county.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. All right, Chancellor Portnoy.
Yes, I want to thank Deborah for her fine report. The other comment I have is, as she mentioned, there's a lot of work that goes into developing these budgets, and she gave credit to most people, but not all people, that I know you inadvertently forgot. So, and those are the college directors of fiscal services, and I'd like to recognize them. Carol Hilton of Saddleback College is right over here. And I saw David walk in. There he is. David Kachatrian, director at Irvine Valley College. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments before we move to a vote?
So move.
All right. I'd like to have a motion made by Trustee Jay. Do I have a second? Second. All right, Trustee Milchecker made the second. Let's vote on the motion. All right, the matter carries with 5 yes votes, 2 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. Very good. We're at 6.2, and this is an item for approval, the Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College tentative student government budgets. And I believe that we will have these presented by our student government from... Let's start with Irvine Valley College. How's that? Okay. All right.
Dear Board of Trustee members and Chancellor, it's my privilege tonight, actually, to introduce the acting director for the Student Development Office.
And could we just have you introduce yourself to
I'm
the public?
Gwen Plano,
And
Vice
your
President
title,
of Student
Vice.
Services.
Thank
you so much.
All right.
And the acting director for the summer, and so she's new, not too many questions, please. And this is Cheryl Christensen, and she's gracefully accepted this role and has been working with the students. So you please.
Welcome.
Hello, members of the board. It is a great honor and pleasure to be here to introduce the students from Irvine Valley College, ASIVC. My name is Cheryl Christensen, and I am the acting student development director for the summer, and here to introduce our budget, tentative budget for 2011-2012 is the Vice President, Sogal Palhaven, sorry, and Azra Allen.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, President Padberg and the Board of Trustees. If you could please hold your question, there's an opportunity at the end of the presentation. Thank you. It is our pleasure to bring you the ASIVC tentative budget for 2011 and 2012. I would like to begin with the process used to develop our ASIVC budget. As you can see on page 1, the process used to develop our ASIVC budget. ASIVC has a budget development committee, which is outlined in our Constitution. We send out our requests across the campus to all who want to submit for ASIVC funding in early spring. The requests are reviewed by the committee at the end of the semester with representatives of the committee consisting of outgoing and incoming ASIVC officers. The committee determines if the request will be funded based upon criteria of our Constitution, board policies, use of funds, and funding availability.
Our beginning fund balance is based upon figures that we have available in May. We receive our final beginning fund balance in June or July once all funding from the summer in addition to the fall and spring from the previous year have been collected. We have for our tentative budget, we have an estimated budget of $55,000 from our beginning fund balance, which is mostly leftover money from the previous year that did not get spent. For our minimum guaranteed revenue, which are funds that are guaranteed through commission, include the following income. From our bookstore, we have $355,000 coming to us. And from our cafeteria and vending contracts, we have $50,000 coming. From those, we subtract $88,000, which are mainly for the utilities and the office assistant. Since those are non-negotiable, we just take it off the top instead of trying to balance those into the budget. So our final guaranteed revenue comes to $372,000. In addition to the guaranteed revenue, we have projected funds that we are still collecting and do not have the final figures on yet. From ASB activity sticker sales, we expect an income of $40,000, and additional money from the bookstore and cafeteria, we expect $79,000, bringing our total sources of funds to $491,000. Below, we have our uses of our funds, which are divided into campus life, co-curricular programs, ASIVC operations, the contingency mid-year requests and scholarships, and student support. As you can see, the total uses of funds equal the total sources. The next page, how our funding is distributed, is displayed on this chart, on this pie graph. For co-curricular programs, we have about $47,000. We have 47% going to it. Our campus life gets about 8% of our total funds. The student support, about 11%. Contingency mid-year requests and scholarships are getting 30%. And our ASIVC operations, 4%. And as you can see, a large portion of the budget is taken up by co-curriculars.
Page 4 are a sample breakdown of the uses of funds. Our campus life is estimated at $38,300. Some examples would be clubs, ASIVC events, scholarship award ceremonies, and among others, other events. Co-curricular programs are competitive programs that are funded to the 2011-2012 year at $232,320. Some of the clubs and teams that participate in this are the Phi Theta Kappa and the Forensics and Speech team. ASIVC operations are estimated at $18,800. These include paper goods, supplies, maintenance agreements, and repairs. Some examples would be in the students' lounge workers and the contract services for $7,000.
Our next page is a grid that shows the division between the contingency mid-year request and scholarships. For our contingency and emergency reserves, we have exactly 10% of our total funds available, which is actually part of our Constitution. So that is 10%, $49,100. The allocations for anticipated mid-year requests are the portion of beginning fund balance funds used for a one-time allocation. These will not be an ongoing expenses, and we will review the requests from the spring that we were not able to fund for consideration. We also have a constitutional process for other one-time requests. And our scholarship, we have includes the original $60,000 dedicated to our students. This amount does serve our students, but if necessary, we will review the need and can make a mid-year decision to add more funds. So in total, our contingency, mid-year requests, and scholarships come to $148,080. And finally, our student support, we have $53,500. These are other programs that are not co-curricular, so they don't fall into that category, but they do benefit the students in many ways, such as the theater and our transfer and career centers. So that's our budget. If you have any questions, we are happy to take them.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Anyone wish to comment? Apparently not. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the tentative budget for ISIVC. Trustee Milchiker moved approval, and Trustee Meldau did a second. All right, let's vote, please. All those in favor, vote. All right, passes with 5 yes votes, 2 absent votes, and a student advisory yes vote. Now we'll move to Saddleback College. Thank you very much, ASGIVC. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Audra DePadova. I'm the Director of Student Development at Saddleback College, and I'm going to introduce Joseph Hassin here. He's our ASG president. He's going to be presenting our budget to you this evening, very similar format. And I just wanted to thank you really quickly for this wonderful educational opportunity that you offer our students to present this budget this evening. It's one of the, I'd say, probably 1,000 opportunities, educational opportunities that come out of this budget. This is one of the many, but this is really important. How many students get to put this on their resume at the end of the day? So thank you for the opportunity. Joseph, it's all yours.
All right. Good evening, President Padberg, board members, everyone in the audience. As Audra said, my name is Joseph Hassin. I'm the ASG president for the 2011-2012 school year. It's nice to meet all of you. And again, thank you for the opportunity. As Audra said, not many get the opportunity to present something like this. First, we can go ahead and start off with the process of allocating the budget. Basically, I'm sure a number of you are familiar with the process, but I'll give a brief explanation for those who aren't. The ASG Budget Committee and the Student Development Office work together to create an estimation of the funds that we'll be receiving this summer to be used during the fall and spring semesters of next year. Once these estimations are reached, ASG consults the deans and discusses appropriate uses of funds, and then through our Budget Committee and eventually through our Associate Student Government Senate, we pass what we believe is a conservative and well-thought-out budget. As scholarships hold very high priority, we also consider other aspects such as campus life and the educational impact that our programs will have. So where exactly does ASG get this $847,052 from? There are 3 sources of funding. First, you have the estimated beginning fund balance. This consists of our $101,052 emergency reserve or contingency fund, with also added $20,000 in estimated rollover. This is $20,000 that we're assuming wasn't spent this past year. Anything exceeding this $20,000 in rollover will be allocated by our summer budget committee when we receive the actual numbers this summer. The second source of funding is our minimum guaranteed revenue. As our representatives from IVC said, we student governments receive funding from our cafeteria, bookstore, and various other vendors on campus. This year, we're assuming we'll be receiving $666,000, and all of this money is allocated out to the various divisions. Our third source of funding is the Associated Student Body Fund Card, also commonly known as the ASB stamp. This is sold each semester for $10. This is ASG's source of funding. So this is all the ASG budget, but this $60,000 from ASB stamps is what ASG actually uses on their individual programs and expenses and things like that of that sort. So how exactly is this budget used? One sheet in front of you, you'll see has the budget as separated by divisions. So it'll show which division is getting how much money and exactly which programs they're using that for. The second sheet in front of you separates the budget into 4 aggregate categories. Here's a chart displaying the various uses of funds, including the 4 categories I mentioned, and 3 uses of funds which are not explicitly stated in the spreadsheets, which we'll get to later on. Okay, so for the first category of campus life, ASG is largely responsible for life on campus, of course, as the student government. These programs aid in recruitment, retention, and persistence and success of all students on campus. They encourage students to spend time on campus, which studies show the students who spend time on campus with faculty, staff, and peers are largely more successful than students who go to solely an academic institution and then go home. Included in campus life are many ASG events and various other division programs and activities, including ASG's Earth Week, the Psychology Speaker Series, and multiple film festivals, which are supported by ASG. In total, the campus life budget is $205,490. Next, we have the co-curricular programs. So what's the difference between campus life and co-curricular programs? These programs are directly linked to the academic experience. So these are connected to a certain division or a certain course, things like that. And these programs are really what separate gauchos from your average community college or university students, because we have all of these various programs that students can participate in. These include nursing conferences, our nationally ranked speech and forensics team, and Saddleback's own literary magazine, The Wall, and various other programs, which bring us to a total of $120,419. Next, we have student support. Although ASG gives out a large amount of scholarships in the form of monetary scholarships, we also choose to support a variety of programs which many students wouldn't be able to participate in without ASG funding. These programs include our athletics program, our newly funded Veterans Mentorship Program, and various awards, services, and ceremonies which students get to participate in on campus. And these are programs that enhance many aspects of life at Saddleback College and come to a total of $168,491. For the last category, we have all the background expenses. When you take copier agreements, service charges, support for the student development office, and various other fees and services, you reach our ASG operations budget of $109,050. Okay, so lastly, those three uses of funds which aren't explicitly stated in the spreadsheets in front of you. First, we have our contingency or emergency reserve, which is $101,052. This isn't allocated out because it will remain as the emergency reserve for this coming year. Next, we have our allocation for anticipated mid-year requests, which is $38,000. As our representatives from IVC said, it's money that we can use during the year when new programs come up and things of that sort. And lastly, ASG scholarships, we have $104,550. Although this is a very conservative number because this number represents scholarships and programs given directly by ASG, whereas ASG also supports many division scholarships and division programs such as the Student Journalism Scholarship, Anthropology Scholarship, and many other things that the divisions use ASG funds for. So as you can see, looking at the spreadsheets in front of you, I think it's clear that student support in the form of academic and non-academic, monetary and non-monetary programs and scholarships are of highest priority in allocating the ASG budget. And I believe that the Treasurer and Budget Committee from this past year did a great job of creating a solid, effective, and conservative budget. I'll now take any questions you may have.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions for our student? Thank you. Seeing none, let's vote on the Saddleback College ASG budget. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't have a motion. Could we have a motion? Trustee Milchecker and Trustee Prendergast seconded it. Okay, thank you very much. Everyone voted, and it's 5 yes, 2 absent votes, and 1 student advisory yes vote. Got a little ahead there. Thank you very much. We are now at item 6.3, and these are board policy revisions. We'll let our Chancellor present this. This is for review and study.
Deborah, are you prepared?
All right, Deborah, are you prepared to present this?
Yes, you have before you several policies for your review and study. The electronic communication policy, volunteer assistance, bereavement leave for administrators and classified management, holidays, transfer of sick leave for academic and classified personnel, prevention of identity theft in student financial transactions, and the college speaker policy. Most of these, as you can take a look at, are very minor changes, nothing substantive. If you have any questions.
Any comments or questions from any trustee? Or our student trustee? No, seeing none. We will accept this for review and study. I don't know that we need a motion. Do we need a motion for that, Trustee Milchecker?
I'll make a motion to accept for review and study.
All right, Trustee Jay seconded Trustee Milchecker's motion. So we'll accept it for review and study. We don't need to vote. Thank you very much. 6.4. This is an item for public hearing, so at this time we will recess the regular board meeting to a public hearing on the district initial proposal for the California School Employees Association, Chapter 586. And Vice Chancellor Bugay, would you like to present this?
Yes. On this item, this is a public hearing for anybody to have input or comments from the public to the Board of Trustees for positions at the bargaining table with CSEA.
And do we have anyone who has expressed a wish to speak?
No.
Or to have a hearing? All right. Seeing none, we will close the hearing and reconvene the board meeting. And that's it. All right. 6.5. This is the academic personnel actions, and we'll go again to Vice Chancellor Bugay.
No changes.
No changes. Moved by Trustee Milchecker. Do I have a second? Second by Trustee Meldau. And any questions or comments? Seeing none, let's vote on the item. Item carries with 5 yes votes, 2 absent votes, and 1 student advisory yes vote. We are now at item 6.6. This is classified personnel actions, and these are for approval, and Vice Chancellor Bugay. Trustee Jay moved this item, and Trustee Milchecker seconded it. Any questions or comments from any trustees or a student trustee? No? All right, let's vote on the item. Item carries with 5 yes votes, 2 absent votes, and 1 student advisory yes vote. Very good. We are at 7.1, and this is an information item for outside speakers may be invited by administrators, faculty members, or recognized student groups to speak. And Chancellor, do you have anything to add to this item? Any comments or questions from our? All right. Seeing none, we'll move to 7.2. This is our basic aid report. Any comments or questions from shared governance or anyone? All right. Move to 7.3. And this is our facilities plan status report. Any comments or questions about this report? Seeing none, we will move to 7.4. This is our monthly financial status report. And any comments or questions about this? Seeing none, we are now at reports, written reports and verbal reports from our shared governance. We'll start with Saddleback College Academic Senate.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself, please.
Dan Walsh, Academic Senate President, Saddleback College. Senate activities have included gearing up for a large number of hiring committees for the fall, doing our finishing touches for the fall in-service. Also, we had 3 new executive committee members attend our leadership conference in Oakland. We've had observers, or what we've been calling scribes, attending the board accreditation retreat, the district strategic planning process meeting, and are preparing to have draft responses to the 6 accreditation recommendations in July.
All right. Thank you and welcome. And now we'll have our Faculty Association report from Professor Lewis Long.
The Faculty Association is thrilled that we have completed the process of negotiating a contract with the district and are looking forward to a successful ratification vote from the faculty and adoption by the Board of Trustees.
Thank you very much. Now the Irvine Valley College Academic Senate report.
I'm Steve Rochford. I'm the Academic Affairs Chair. Lisa is in Texas.
Okay.
And we've been busy this summer. The Flex Week calendar is all but ready to go. And we have the IVC to IVC faculty lecture series. We have 7 speakers confirmed for next season, 3 in the fall and 4 in the spring. And 2 of the 3 distinguished academic lecture series speakers were in the report this evening. We're working on a third, so that's almost ready to go.
Very good. Thank you very much. And now we will go to our Associate Vice Chancellor of Economic Development, Mr. Peoples.
Good evening. Just a couple of things. Our development activities continue to move forward nicely, and within about 2 weeks, our demolition phase 2 will in fact begin at ATEP as most of the remainder of the buildings start to be demolished. Thank you.
Thank you. IVC President Rockmore.
It's just a couple of things. I would like to congratulate our students on a wonderful job that they did on the budget presentation, and that's for both colleges. Also, our Academic Senate President, Lisa Davis Allen, and I attended a Tustin Unified School Board meeting where we both received awards for our partnership that we have with them. And kind of remarkably, Mayor Suki King, Irvine Mayor, invited our women's golf, men's volleyball, women's badminton, and also our speech and debate team to all receive resolutions all at once on the floor of the council there. It was
Wonderful.
great. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And sitting in for President of Saddleback College this evening, we have Professor
Don Boucher.
Don Boucher.
Thank you. In the spirit of Dr. Burnett's vacation, I have no report. However, I would like to call your attention to the Saddleback College Civic Light Opera season, so I do have some handouts for you.
Thank you very much. All right, and do we have a report from Vice Chancellor Bermucci? No report. All right, and David Bugay, our Vice Chancellor of Human Services.
The accreditation had produced 6 different recommendations for district services to actually address in district-wide committees. And frankly, the process we've been going through is very informative. And the accreditation report at the end result will have a much better product. And I think the district-wide planning coordination together is actually working very well together. So I think it's a very positive aspect, and the outcome shortly to be seen by the board.
Excellent. And our new Vice Chancellor of Business Services, do you have a report?
No report tonight.
Report. All right, very good. And it looks like we don't have anyone from IVC Academic Senate. All right. And Don Main from the CSEA, President of? No report this evening. No report. Russell Hamilton?
Well, it's wonderful to be back. Last week I spent some time in Ventura, Crown Plaza for the California Leadership Institute, put on by 4CS. It was very informative. We had wonderful time, many different workshops that I would definitely recommend to any classified employee. I would like to tonight take and say that tonight is sort of bittersweet. Tonight will be my last night as the Senate President for Saddleback College, so I'm here to say goodbye.
Aww.
But I'm also here to say thank you to the board, to the Chancellor, and to district and district services for all the great meetings, all the great work that we've done over the last 2 years. I will still be continuing on for the next 2 years as the president of the California Community College Classified Senate for the state.
Wow.
I will also be for the next 3 years the second chair to the board of directors for the California Community College League of California.
Wow.
It's been fantastic. I will be very involved with the Classified Senate at Saddleback, with the college community and the administration. It has been a real pleasure to take and work with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now our Saddleback College ASG President, Joseph Haseen.
Well, I think you've heard me speak enough tonight, but you saw what I've been working on. ASG as a whole, we're in the forming stages. We have about 15 members now, and we're gearing up for the fall semester, so I'm looking forward to a really good year.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And I just sorry to say, but this is the end of our meeting. This must be a record. All right. All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
That's what I signed on for.
That's